Welcome to the first lesson of Module 12 Statistics, Lesson 12.1, Measures of Center. Our objectives for today are that I can represent sets of data by using measures of center, and I can represent sets of data by using percentiles. Today, and the bulk of this chapter, is going to be intensely heavy on vocabulary, more than many of our other units have been. So we're going to start off with variable. A variable is any characteristic, number, or quantity that can be counted or measured. It is an item of data. A measurement data, or otherwise known as quantitative data, is data that have units and can be measured. Categorical data, on the other hand, or qualitative data, is data that can be organized into different categories. One thing to think of with categorical or qualitative data is this is descriptive. So it's not necessarily quantifiable. You can't put a number quantity to it, but you can use a description for it. So, for example, in science class, anytime I'm asking you to list observations of a chemical reaction, right? You are using your senses, you are giving me qualitative data. You're not giving me a numerical value as to the smell of an object, but you are describing it using words. So, qualitative is going to be descriptive data. Univariate, well, the prefix on uni is, or the prefix is uni, which is one. So univariate data is measurements of data in one variable. Now we get to the bulk of what we're looking at today. Measures of center or measures of central tendency. These are two expressions that refer to the exact same things. So these are measures of what is considered to be average. Now, how do you define average? There's three different methods by which we can look at what is average. The first one is what we would typically think of as being the average, which is the mean. And that is going to be the sum of the elements of data divided by the total number of elements in the set. So you add up 4 test scores and divide by 4. That gives you your average, right? If we look at a class average, I'm going to add up the 30 test scores of your class, and I'm going to divide it by 30, and that's going to tell me the average score of your algebra class. The next one is the median. So median is the middle element. All right, median, middle. And it is the if there is an odd number of elements in your data set. One key here is they need to be arranged in numerical order. Now, if there's an even number of values in your data set, you're going to take the average or the mean of the middle two. So you'll count into the middle, and if there's an odd number, that specific point is your median. If there's an even number, you're going to take the average of those two middle data points, and then use that as your median. Lastly, we have the mode. And mode is most often in a data set. Data sets can have one mode, they can have two modes, they can have no modes. So if there is no number that's repeated, then there is no mode because every value is equally represented in the sample. There could be one or two different values that have the same quantity being used. Now, a range in the statistical sense is going to be the highest value minus the lowest value. Highest value minus the lowest value. That gives you the range in a statistical sense. So we're not talking about range as an output like we did with functions. We're talking about it as the distance between your highest quantity and your lowest quantity. So this is one of those times where context matters to determine the definition of the word. Lastly, we have percentiles, and percentiles tell us what percent of the total scores were below a given score. We see this in standardized tests. For example, the MAP test often ranks you in percentiles. The IAR test and the ISA test will tell you percentiles. The ACT or SAT will also tell you percentiles. Well, this is the percent of scores that are below yours. There's a caveat here. There is no 0 percentile, because that would mean that there are no scores below you. You are the bottom score. We don't define that. You say it's the first percentile. And there is no 100th percentile, because that would mean 100% of the scores would be beneath you, but that's not possible because you are you. So the highest possible percentile you could be is the 99th percentile. All right, so we're going to work with some measures of center. And the first thing we need to do when we work with measures of center is put the numbers in numerical order. So I'm going to start off, we've got 72. And what I like to do is cross them off when I use them. That way I know they've been used and I don't need to go back to them. So we have 77, we have 82, we have 85, we have 87, we have 88, we have 90, 91, and 95. So those are our values. How many values do we have? We have a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We have 10 total. All right, so if I want to find my mean, I'm going to add up all my values. And so when I add up all of those values, I get 844. And we're going to divide it by the 10 that we have, which is 84.4. My median, that's the middle value. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in, and there was an even number, right? So 5 from the left, 5 from the right gives us this 85 and 87. So what I'm going to do is I find the average of them. 85 plus 87 divided by 2 is going to give me 172 over 2, which is 86. Okay. And my last one, my mode. Which value occurs most often? Well, 77 is the only value that's repeated, so that is my mode. So the secondary part of this question was, which measure of central tendency best describes the data? Well, 77, I'm going to say no, because there's only one value less than 77, and there's it's at the bottom end of this range. The mean puts me to the left of center. There's 4 values less than the mean, but there's 6 values above it. 86 here really hits right in the middle of this range. It's about 12 away, 14 away from the low end. It's 10 away from the high end. So really, either one of the mean or median decently represent this data. All right, let's take a look at letter B. We've got the table shows the total number of points scored in several NCAA championship basketball games. Find the mean, median, and mode of this data. So let's go in, and I'm going to write these numerical order. So we've got 94, we have 114, we have 116, 120, 126, 130, 131, 143, 145, 150, 155, 158, 159, 159, 160. All right. So now, first one, let's find that median right away. So how many total data points do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 15 data points. So we have a middle value that we can get to. The middle value will be the eighth value in the sequence. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 143 is my median. That is my middle value. That is the middle number in the sequence. Now the mean, we're going to total all of these up, and I did those already. So it's 2061 over the 15 values we have. So your mean, your average is 137.4 points. And the mode. Do we have a mode? It's 159. So as I look at this, does 159 represent all of my data? No, it doesn't. It's my second highest score, and it happened twice. Does my median, the middle value, represent the data? I have a 143. Well, if we look at that, we're 17 points to the high score, but we're almost 50 points to the low score because we have a little bit of an outlier going to the low end there. So that really shows us that our mean, the 137.4, that one is a little closer towards that low end. So that was probably a better representative than the median would be at 143. So we're going to go on to the next page, and we have another couple examples. So we have the price of, or the closing price in dollars of two stocks for the first 5 days in February are shown below. What are the mean, median, and mode and range of the data sets? And we're going to compare them. So if we look at our numbers, we're going to put them in numerical order first for stock A. So we have 25, we have 28, we have 30, we have 30, and we have 47. So first of all, mean is going to be 160 over 5, which is 32. Median, which is my middle value, 30. And then mode. Most often used value is 30. My range. My highest is 47. My lowest is 25, and that's going to equal a 22 spread. So let's take a look at stock B. We're going to do the same process, and then we'll look at a comparison between the two. So we have our values in numerical order. We have 28, 31, 31, 34, 36. So my mean, we do 160 divided by 5. Hey, that's a familiar calculation, 32. Our median. Our middle value is 31. And our mode, what value is repeated? 31. What is my range? High minus low, so we have 36 minus 28 is 8. So now if we compare these, they have the same means. The average between these two is the same. The median on the left is 30, median on the right is 31, mode 30, mode 31. The one on the left has a range of 22. The one on the right has a range of 8. So on the right-hand side, my mean is pretty close to the average distance. The mean or median, really, those are all kind of representative. We're going to go with the mean. On the left, we have this value. This is an outlier. An outlier is one that is significantly far away from the rest of the data. So it is shifting that mean higher than what it should be. Because, right, your mean in that one is higher than 4 out of the 5 data values. That tells you that you have an outlier that's dragging the mean to the right. So in the middle one, I would say for stock A, I would say the median is probably a better one. And we're going to say, in comparing these two stock wise, B is significantly less volatile. So it didn't have that spike of 47. It had more of a consistent price compared to the other one, right? So it's less volatile. The other one is more volatile. It had that big spike in it that we don't know why. All right. D, E, and F are going to be ones that you should try on your own here, and then you're going to check your work against mine. All right, so we're going to put these in numerical order, and I'm going to do it vertically. So we've got 15, 15, 15, 20, 25, 25, 27, 36, 45, 69, 89, and 113. I didn't talk about the context of this. This is Chico, California. They have a silver dollar fair, which is people eating a competition to see who can eat the most silver dollar pancakes. So small little pancakes, where they have 8 minutes to eat as many 1 ounce pancakes as they possibly can. So if you have 1 ounce, 16 ounces is a pound. So the lowest competitors ate nearly a pound of pancakes, and the winners ate significantly more than that. All right, so let's take a look at what our mean is first. So for the mean, we do add them all up. You get 494 pancakes eaten by 12 individuals, and that is going to be an average of 41.2 pancakes per person. Okay, median. What's the middle value? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're looking for the sixth from the top, sixth from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be right there, right? That is our sixth one in from the top, sixth one in from the bottom. So that's 25 plus 27 over 2, which is 26. My mode. What value occurs the most often? We have 3 at 15. My range. What is the spread from the winner to the runners up? We have 113 minus 15, which is 98. All right. So those are our values. Next up, we've got interceptions thrown during one regular season for each team in the NFC. Find the mean, median, and mode, and then round to the nearest whole number if necessary. So when we put these in order, we have 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 17, 18, and 22. So there are 16 teams in the NFC. So we're finding the eighth and ninth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got our eighth and ninth there. That is going to be our median. So we'll do that in green because that's what we've been doing. So our mean, we add up our value. So there was a total of 206 interceptions thrown this season between 16 teams, which is 12.875, but we were told to round to the nearest whole number, so that would be approximately 13 interceptions per team during this season. Our median. Do I need to find the average when it's 12 and 12? No, because my median is 12, right? 12 plus 12 is 24, divided by 2 is 12. The mode, the most often value is 12. We had 3 teams that had 12 interceptions this season. So our range from our high team of 22, our low team of 8, there was a 14 interception spread between your highest team and your lowest team this season. All right. For letter F, we're comparing stocks again, and we have stock C and stock D. So we're going to go with C first, and we put them in order. We have 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7. So we're going to find the mean, and that's 21 over 5, which is 4.2. We're going to find the median. Our middle value is 4. Our mode, value that's repeated the most, there is none. There is no value repeated. And then our range. Our high minus our low, 7 minus 1 is 6. All right, so then let's look at stock D. We had 2, 5, 10, 15, 24. Our mean, we have 56 over 5, which gives us 11.2. Our median, what is our middle value? It is 10. Our mode is none. Again, there's no repeated values. And lastly, our range, we have 24 minus 2 is 22. All right, so what do we do when we're looking and comparing these two? What can we notice? Well, the one on the right is going to have a greater mean than the one on the left. It's also got a much more volatile spread in its values, right? It is a greater difference. You know, your high end to low end of this stock in a week is $22, whereas the letter C, it's a $6 spread. So that is, you know, depending on when you buy, you could have made a lot of profit or you could have had a lot of loss. So there's a lot of differences there. All right. Going on to the next example, now we're going to start looking at percentiles. So we have at a bodybuilding competition, Shantae earned a score of 42 points. There were 19 competitors that scored less than her and 5 that scored higher than her. What is Shantae's percentile rank in the competition? So that's the actual question. What is the percentile rank? Well, we need to figure that out first. So how many total competitors were there? There were 19 competitors that were less than her. Okay. There are 5 that are higher than her. So 19 plus 5 plus her, plus Shantae. So that's going to give us a total of 25 total competitors. So now that we're going to calculate it, we want to know Shantae's. So we need to know how many were less than Shantae. So that's 19 less than. Out of the 25 total is 0.76, which we multiply by 100 to make it a percentile, and we get the 76th percentile. Okay, 76th percentile. All right, so let's look at our next one. We've got the table shows the scores by each country in the team figure skating event at the 2014 Olympic Winter Games. Find the United States' percentile rank. So, what are we looking for? Well, let's find the U.S. first. What did the U.S. score? We had a team score of 60. So how many total competitors do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 total. And we want to know how many are less than 60. So how many of our scores are less than 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the teams are less than 60. 7 of the 10 teams. So when we do the math on that, 7 divided by 10 is 0.7, and then we multiply it by 100, we get 70th percentile. Do we have to put these in numerical order? No, not really. So we're just going to work with it. All right, letter C. The table shows the scores of the corps that competed in the Drum Corps International World Championship World Class Finals in 2015. At what percentile did the Cavaliers score, and what corps scored at the 75th percentile? So Cavaliers is our first one. We want to know what percentile they had. So Cavaliers were a score of 88.325. So we're looking for who is going to be less than 88.25. 0.325. All right, so we want to find which teams are less than 88.325. You have 1, 2, 3. 3 teams are less than 88.25. There are 12 teams total. So 3 over 12 is 0.25, which is the 25th percentile. So the Cavaliers' score was in the 25th percentile in this competition. Now, we're looking for the next one is what corps scored in the 75th percentile? Well, what would that look like as a fraction? Let's think about this. If it's the 75th percentile, we need 0.75. Well, 0.75 is 3/4. We know that fraction. How many teams are there total? There's 12 teams, so that would be 9/12. So we want to know which of the schools is going to have 9 teams less than it. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the 10th team. So let's start off. We've got the Crossmen are the lowest with 85. Then we've got the Blue Stars at 85. We've got the Boston Crusaders at 86. We go down to the Cavaliers that we just found were the 4th team from the bottom. Then we've got the Madison Scouts as 5. We have the Phantom Regiment as 6. They've actually come to DeKalb before a couple times and performed. The Blue Knights are the 7th. We go down to Santa Clara Vanguard for the 8th team. The Cadets are the 9th team. And then the Bluecoats are the 10th team. So the Bluecoats, they will represent the 75th percentile because they are the team that is going to have 9 teams below them. 75% of the field is below the score of the Blue Coats. Okay. All right, so now you're going to try letters D, E, and F on your own, and then you're going to check your work against mine. So, letter D, the table shows the geographic size of each country in South America. Find the percentile rank of Venezuela. So, we're looking for Venezuela is going to be 353,841 square miles. So, less than 353, 841. All right, so we're looking for values that are less than 353,000 square miles. We'll match it with that. So Chile is less than 350,000. Ecuador is less than. The Falkland Islands are less than. French Guiana is less than. Guyana is less than. Paraguay is less than. South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands is less than. Suriname is less than. Uruguay is less than. So how many countries is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 countries that are less than 353,000, and that's out of 15. So we do that division. 9 divided by 15 gets us 0.6, which is the 60th percentile. Our 60th percentile. All right. And our next one, find the percentile rank of retailer F. So let's use a different color here. Retailer F has a value of 360. So I want to know which ones are less than 360. So which are my values that are going to be less than 360? Well, we have retailer C is less than 360, retailer G, retailer I. So we have 3 of our retailers out of a possible 10, which is 0.3 or the 30th percentile. All right. In a singing competition that involved 50 contestants, Raina's score ranked higher than 40 of the contestants. What percentile did Raina score? So 50 contestants, she is higher than 40 of them. We do 40 over 50, which is 0.80, which is the 80th percentile. And that is going to conclude our notes for today. If you have any questions, please bring them to class tomorrow. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.